need to beg you to. I love you, beg you to. With my love so rare and true. Oh, beg you, my beg you to. Well, I love you, gal. I want you, beg you to. Well, I love you, gal, and I want you, beg you to.
The sweetest words were made for lovers in the gloaming. The sweetest days were the days that used to be. The saddest words I ever heard were words upon that eve. When you said, sweetheart, remember me. Remember me. When the candlelights are gleaming, remember me at the close of a long, long day. It'll be so sweet when all alone I'm dreaming, just to know you still remember me.
I guess Buddy got most of his musical talent from mother's side of the family. My father loved music. He couldn't carry a tune in a bag, but he would insist on us playing. Most of the songs that we sang, of course, were Baptist songs. And
You think of me, darling, while we're many miles apart. Oh, please be true to me, my darling. For you are the flower of my heart.
Where you all from? Where's your hometown?
Lubbock, Texas.
How far is that from a place like Dallas or Crystal City? I mean, Texas is big, man.
Well, our hometown, Lubbock, is 280 miles straight west of Dallas.
Would you like to go back there?
Sure would.
What's the weather like this time of year down there?
Oh, it's not quite this cool.
It's not.
And it's a little bit dry.
For I can live while we're apart.
I met Buddy when I was about...
He was working for me in the tile business, and we had a big tile job. Had to go to San Angelo to get a truckload of tile, and 18-wheeler, and I let him help me drive it down there. We sort of learned how together on the thing. Anyway, we got to San Angelo and went in this place to get a hamburger. It turned out to be more of a joint than anything else, but we stayed in there. They had a black combo in there playing. And Buddy got to talking with them, and he knew their language, you know, and hanging around up there. And they said, "Hey, man, why don't you come up here and play us one?" And he said, "Well, I don't mind if I do." And, you know, he just dying too. He just had on his Levi's and his jeans. And anyway, as soon as he got that guitar, I would have swore it was a different instrument completely. Just the way you pressed down on it or something, he made a clean sound. It was just a dead little joint when we went in, and it was rocking before we left.
Seniors in high school, Elvis came through the country, man, and he just started, and he was brand new. And we all just fell in love with that style of music because, well, mainly because girls all liked it, you know. so it made us like it too.
was on a Sunday afternoon. It was at a show, and it was the first time we met Elvis. And we didn't know what he looked like. We had no pictures of him. So Buddy was there, and naturally Elvis had had his first release, a '78 record. And Buddy wanted to see what he looked like, you know, as well as all of us. We didn't know what the guy looked like, you know, but we wanted to hear what this boy from Mississippi, or hear him and see him, you know, what he was like. And of course we did get to see him that day.
Buddy and I had been to see a movie called The Searchers, and we were into playing a lot, like practicing almost every night. Then we were sitting there just practicing. He was playing guitar and I was playing the drums in my mom's house. And I'd never tried to write a song at the time.
Well, you want to quit either? That'll be that day.
Holly was playing this, like had a tune in his head, and he said, "Hey, let's write a song." And I said, "That'll be the day." He said, "That's a good idea." And so we wrote it in about 30 minutes.
You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and you earn darling, all your hurt and kisses and your money too. Well, you know you love me, baby, till you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye, yeah, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye, yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day.
The old studio was used last in 1969 when Norman moved out of there. This is the small studio. I think I'd call it small because most recording studios were big. That Buddy Holly and the Crickets did all of their hits, most all of their hits, I'd say, like That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue, Every Day. And when these boys came in, I thought, are these boys musicians? And they looked real gangly to me, and they didn't look like they'd have any talent at all. When they started playing, well, they showed us different. I don't think there was an actual boss. I really don't. I believe Norman would start it out, and if Buddy would have a suggestion, he would probably try it. He used different microphones. I mean, he would change microphones probably several times. But when we'd start rehearsing the numbers is when he would go around and set up microphones and get the sounds he wanted.
Was he a real perfectionist about it?
Yes, yes. And like I say, he may change microphones several times until he got just the exact sound that he wanted. And but we'd have fun while he's doing all this. And it was when he was ready to get down to business.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, can you go pow, 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 like that? Yeah, do that right for the first part there. Good. Okay, it's good.
We did a lot of different things, like on Every Day, I played on my knees, just when we started working on the song, deciding what order to do it in. keep it quieter so everybody could play. He was doing the guitar, was just like sort of playing along on my knees. And Norman Petty said, I don't remember exactly how it came about, but he said, let's try that. So he just like Mike, just playing on the knees like that. And on a song called Well Alright, just like all the way through, just laid the cymbal, I think this very cymbal on the floor, and just played Well Alright, so I'm leaving, no other drums on it. And then Party Doll, which would be closed before that, Buddy Knox and Rhythm Orchids. They used a cardboard box on that, so when we started to do Not Fade Away, we said, hey, that sounded good then, so let's do it again. And I'll show you how it sounds, because I just emptied the box last night. And I'll show you how it sounded like this. Well, all I know is party doll, be with me when I'm feeling well. Anyway, Not Fade Away sounded like this. Well, I've got a day, it's gonna be. You're gonna need your love from me.
Norman Petty called me one day.
Beatles, just on one drum. And Norman Petty, the engineer, flipped the sound in and out of the echo chamber and changed the volume, or I think increased the dBs. Anyway, just played it on one drum like this.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, yes, I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how fine I yearn for you. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, yes, I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue, oh Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh well, I love you, gal, yes, I need you, Peggy Sue.
I remember we were all on an early fall tour, Show of Stars. And we knew that they were going to join the show. That was a Sunday or something. And they were all down in the basement of this big arena where we were playing, the three of them, wearing these gray suits. You could tell they bought in Texas. They had grown up together. They were like, literally like brothers. They were wonderfully friendly. They were friendly. They were very, very into, they had even a kind of a Texas language we didn't even understand at that time. A lot of things they would talk about and things. It was really kind of a little alien to Phil and I, you know.
Everybody in the top 10, Frankie Lyman, and it was a lot of fun to be around, you know. And they'd sing, make up songs, and, you know, 99 bottles of beer on the wall, stuff like that, and just general kibitzing and a bunch of entertainers. People would be jamming. It just was, you know, I wouldn't take $1 billion for that. You know, those memories were really sensational. You'd sometimes sleep up in the rack and stuff like that, and sometimes you travel all night, but most of the time you were on the bus. You know, it's fun. It's a bit tiring, but I was, you know, 18 years old, you know, young and healthy, could do it.
Did the older performers then?
When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could say that you were the best for me. All my life I've been waiting, and I shall be no hesitating, no boy. When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could say that you were the best for me. Stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart calling. A little bit of love makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All my love, all of my kisses. You don't know what you better miss it no more. When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could say that you were the best for me. My love, no more. When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could be that. It would have been for me. All my life I've been waiting, and there'll be no hesitation no more. When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could be that. It would have been for me. Hard to feel and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart is falling. A little bit of love and makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kisses. You don't know just what you've been missing no more. When you're with me, oh boy, I thought the world could say that. The world has been for me.
I remember one time,
Casey put it in and everything.
when Buddy bought the Get, like when he bought his first Fender Stratocaster, you know, I think that was the first one in Lubbock, Texas, and I couldn't believe that was a guitar. That was the first solid body guitar I'd ever seen. And you know, with a gear shift on it, man, you know, you can change tones with that, and I was very impressed with it, and I think a lot of other people were too. And after we did our first tour in Europe, seems like everybody wanted to talk to Buddy about his guitar.
You took me up to heaven. You took me in your arms. I was dazzled by your kisses, blinded by your charms. I was lost in a fool's paradise. Fool's paradise, good and lost, in a fool's paradise. You told me that you loved me. I gave my heart to you, and I wondered if there could be any truth in love so new. I was lost in a fool's paradise. Fool's paradise, good and lost, in a fool's paradise.
I believe this is Heathrow. It says London Airport. Would that be, that'd probably be what it is then. And this is part of the tour. We were on a 3-week tour with the band, with comedians, and singers. It was really a lot of fun. This is Cambridge. And old Jerry turned around real quick. I don't know who's pulling the shirt there. That's Buddy and Joe B. And there was Wally. He was our manager, road manager. And I'm standing there with Wally. I don't believe that Jerry and Joe B. and Buddy really saw much of the country. Seems like they stayed up all night and they slept on the bus all the way. They were just piled all over each other in the bus. I believe this is Salisbury, the Old George Hotel. It was really neat. The ladies fixed us hot chocolate at night. We sat in front of the fireplace.
The rock and roll tours here are like around 20 acts on them. And I mean, all rock and rollers, everybody had like 8-hit record or 2-hit records or whatever. And then we went to England and there was like a juggling act. And Des O'Connor was the announcer and comedian. And the Tanner Sisters. And there was the band Ronnie Keane. It was like a 14-piece band. And but anyway, we were the only rock and rollers on the whole deal. Well, Buddy always jumped around a lot and acted silly, and Joe B would lay on his back and play the bass, and Holly would get down singing Joe B's bass mic, and I mean, we just act as crazy as possible. You know, it really rock and roll it. Well, the whole thing is just really fun, because it's like going to England is such a change. And we were accepted real well. I think Bill Haley had been there before us, but other than that, there hadn't been any rock and roll in England. Everybody was marveling. We thought, well, aren't we the ones?
That was the first record we ever made with the Beatles in a little studio in Liverpool. We just went up there one day and made this little shellac record. I think we were hearing all the kind of stuff like the sort of stargazers, you know, those kind of vocal groups. And there's people like Guy Mitchell, you know, sort of, and Tommy Steele. And Lonnie Donegan was the big sort of starter over here, you know, for a lot of the English people. But then there started to come in these like very exciting records just over the radio, and you didn't really know, you know, like now there's an expression, where it's coming from. Then you didn't know where that kind of thing was coming from. That'll Be the Day, for instance, like a very exciting record. You didn't know if they were black, white, it didn't really matter. Just a very sort of electric sound on the radio. And you just got intrigued by these things, I think, you know, this kind of mystic image coming over the radio of these sort of strange new music. I mean, obviously, like all these years later, it's difficult to just say what it was about a person. But then I think you were looking at all the stars like Elvis, and over in England, Cliff Richard and stuff, and they were all the really good-looking fellas, you know. And then Buddy came along, and he was a fellow with glasses. And you'd never really see anyone with glasses. You know, it always seemed that anyone who had glasses couldn't make it as a singer or stuff, or at least they had to take their glasses off and have contacts in or something. But suddenly this singer appeared, you know, these big horn-rimmed specs, and we were getting ready to start the Beatles and thinking of making a group. So John Lennon, who normally wore the horn-rimmed specs, but always took them off on stage, he was now able to put them on and see the world, you know. The only thing I remember was Sunday night at the Palladium. We used to have a big variety show. And Buddy was on that once, and that was the big occasion to watch his fingers, to see what guitar he had, to see if he played the chords right, and to see how he did that solo in Peggy Sue, see whether he used a capo or not. You know, all the various technical things, that was where you got your info.
I'm well aware that I've lifted a few of his licks on solos here and there, especially on the road, you know. That's the other great thing about Buddy, it was working music, you know, it worked on stage. You could do it in the studio and you could do it on stage, you know, without any extra effort. It worked, you know. It was,
we used to write songs like Buddy. The very first songs that John and I wrote, we used to sag off school and go to my house and sit down with guitars and I was an advocate, you wasn't, you know, and all that. We just, how did he do it, you know? I love you, you know, we just try that for hours. And eventually out of it, we got a couple of little songs, you know. We got Love Me Do, which was the first Beatles record. Love me do. It's sort of the same, you know, I love you. It's like the same 2-3 chords job, you know. It wasn't quite as bad as that. But, you know, it all came out of this idea of 3 chords, a group, standing up there, playing your instruments while you can see echoes of Buddy Holly and the Crickets in the Beatles.
We're lifting.
Done to me, well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Do you remember, baby, last September, how you held me tight each and every night? Well, whoops,
of Daisy, how you drove me crazy, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. The last time I saw Buddy, and we had a long time to visit, was he was up in Eddie Cochran's room, you know, and they called, and I came over. We went back to his place, and he played me all of his cuts. He had a professional machine in his house. In the middle of his living room it was, and we sat there and listened to, I don't know, about 6 cuts. It sounded great to me, you know, and he was, at that time, looking to get a hit, and he told me that he was going to stay off the road till he got a hit, but I think some of his circumstances, financially, problems he was having, and with Petty and all of them, forced him to get out on the road.
Is that why you went on the last tour, do you think?
That's what I suspect, because if I go with just what I know, Buddy, the last time I saw Buddy was at a lawyer's office. We were coming out as he was coming in, and he was trying to resolve this problem of money that he thought himself owed. And I think if he'd had that money, he would have waited until one of his songs had gone top 10.
Hearts that are broken and love that's untrue, these go with learning the game. When you love her and she doesn't love you, you're only learning the game. When she says that you're the only one she'll ever love, then you find that you are not the one she's thinking of. Feeling so sad and you're all alone and blue, that's when you're learning the game.
It's cold. It's really cold. We were out till before they got killed. We had 8 different buses in that 12-day period. One night we was just driving down the road and the bus just froze up. I mean, just literally stopped. We was going up this hill. It was so cold outside. The bus froze, so we were left sitting in the middle of the road on this bus with no heat. So we were burning papers in the aisle, and our drummer got his feet frostbite, or got frostbite in his feet just sitting on the bus. So we had to leave him there. I think it's Green Bay, Wisconsin, somewhere in that area. We left him in the hospital, so he was in the hospital when the guys got killed. We played a job that night. Of course, we didn't have a drummer, and Richie Valens played drums with us. One of the Belmonts played drums when Richie was on. Buddy played drums behind somebody, you know, he'd jump out there and play drums. But anyhow, he wanted to fly because we'd been out 12 days, we didn't get our laundry done, and like I said, it had been really cold on those buses. So he chartered his plane to take 3 people. Me and him and Waylon was going to fly. Well, Big Bopper had kind of got the flu that afternoon, so he wanted to go ahead and get in early the next day and get him a shot at a doctor. So sometime that night, Waylon gave up his seat to the Bopper. And when I went back in, Richie was in there signing autographs. And he said, "You gonna let me fly, guy?" And I said, "No." And he says, "Come on." He says, "Flip." He had a $50. He says, "Let's flip the coin." I said, "Heads I go and tails you go." So he flipped the coin. I said, "Okay, if you want to go that bad." And he had never flown on a small plane before in his life, which is kind of ironic, you know. But I don't know why I did it, because all night long he had asked me to go, and I said no. But for some reason I said, "Go ahead, you know, if you want to go that bad." Well, he won the toss, so I walked back out. He got in the station wagon. I walked back to the station wagon. I guess I was probably the last one to talk to Buddy, because I said, "Buddy, I got a registered letter to post office my mother sent to Fargo. Would you pick it up for me?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I need some identification. Let me have your driver's license." So I said, "Here, take my wallet." So he just stuck my wallet in his pocket, you know. So when the plane was found the next morning, they found 4 bodies and 5 identifications. So the first news that went out, I was listed as one of the dead because they found my ID, see.
come out as well, because what they've listened to is, it's been handed on, you know. Buddy was one of the, he was in the Union, you know. He was one of the troubadours. You just pass it on, you know. And he passed it on via the Beatles, via us. Everything he did is, I mean, you still hear it on the radio today, a brand new release, but you hear Buddy Holly in there. You can, he's in everybody. How much? And is another thing, you know, but this is not bad from the guy from Lubbock, right?
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you.
Words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you.
Boy, I just can't get up, no. The page just blurs. Can't even see the words, looking right at them. I've gone through it so many times, it's just going, you know, it's a circle, and the circle tightens up and gets up with zip, and another time comes before it's time to sing this one. That's what's getting me so bad, it's concentration. We'll leave the crap out, I'll just tell you for sure. Let's go.
Every day seems a little longer. Every way love's a little stronger. Come what may, do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Love like yours will surely come my way.